Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First, the podcast that delves into knitting, crochet, spinning, and all things yarn. I'm Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from Central Arkansas. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome in. I have yet another different location. I am in my spare bedroom. I have started making myself a legit office. I got a nice big new to me desk, and I have a little bookshelf behind me. I have all my whips on there. I think that's all of them except for my Wave to the Fans blanket, which is in a basket in the living room. So that's nice. And then I have the cat litter box back here, so I have that blocked so you don't need to see that mess. Anyways, I'm hoping this works out because it's so much easier for me to film my podcast off of my computer because that's where I like to edit anyway. And I have my lights right here always hooked up. So we're going to see how this goes. Not as glamorous as seeing the yarn, but we're going to see how it goes. All right, welcome in. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by, checking me out. I hope that you stick around, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you are returning, thank you for being back into my little piece of the internet. And I name every episode after a song title that explains my crafting situation, life situation, who knows what I'm feeling this week. And because before my love of yarn was my love of music. And this week, I use the song Bad Decisions. It is by Benny Blanco with BTS and Snoop Dogg. And I'll put that as a question mark because not really knowing what the bad decisions are or not, but we'll get into that in a minute. So I do have a traditional podcast style. This week I have finished objects, new cast-ons, whips, and acquisitions. So let's get into it. This is episode 85. And one more note, little admin is I am a Knit Picks ambassador. I have a code below for a discount off 15% of your purchase that you're welcome to use at any time. Also, I'm hosting the Love My Stash Make-Along. It's going on all year on my Ravelry page, which is linked below. And the only rules is it has to be from your stash from before this calendar year, and you have to use at least 50 grams of yarn. All right, I am wearing no knitting at all, but let's get right into finished objects. So I have two finished objects, and the first one I will have to insert a picture here. As promised on the last episode, I finally finished my vanilla socks, afterthought everything socks for my friend Rania. I started these, I think I said May of last year. Ridiculous. Had an ordeal, lost a sock, so on and so forth. Cranked it and finished those socks. She has received those socks, so they are out of my home and into her hands, thank goodness. It is using the colorway Supernova Dyeworks in their color Vibe Check. All right, I have another finished pair of socks. These are my entry for the March Night Owl Fibers year-long make-along. And as discussed, the top part, I actually did use a pattern. It was a test pattern I was doing. From Shannon Hobbs, and I did her Squiggle Wiggle pattern at the top, but she pulled the test knit because she was working on some things. So from the heel down, I used my traditional shadow wrap heel and just did vanilla socks for that. And this pattern for the top part of this is not out yet. However, I just got an email yesterday that she is renewing that test knit, so I will let you know when this pattern comes out. And this is using the colorway Mambo Remix, again by Night Owl Fibers. This has been in my stash for a while. I got it at Arkansas Yarn Co., but we do not currently carry this color. Love, love this sock. All right, moving right along. I think this is going to be a pretty quick one this time. So let's get into new cast-ons. All right, so this is where the bad decisions comes into play for the episode title. I'm just joking in the sense I don't consider many whips to be bad decisions, but I love that song and I thought it'd be funny that I just noticed I kept casting on things. So I've technically casted on 2 different designs. I'm working on a one skein shawl, and I cast on another design idea for a sock. Neither one of which I'm going to show because I'm not an expert designer, so there might be lots of changes. So I will show those when I know that I will be having a test call and that I've liked the pattern, so on and so forth. But that's 2 cast-ons right there. And then there is a pattern that we have a sample of at the shop, and I will get a picture and again insert it here. We carry earth yarns at the shop, Arkansas Yarn Co., where I work, and so this pattern was designed for earth yarns in their unique fingering sock. This takes 1 skein fingering weight. You can use self-striping, or you could use a plain color if you wanted. But I love this pattern. I just think it's so cute to have like a design scarf. And this is called the Dorid. It is by, and I'm probably gonna butcher this. Nope, I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not even gonna say it. I will insert the name here. But it was written for earth yarns specifically. And I love this pattern. And we have a regular customer, Miss Pat, who is older, and she is a great knitter, but she's always questioning herself. So she'll work on a project, come in, have us double check her work, go home, come back in. And she really wanted to start this. She made the butterfly papillion, I think, which is also a pattern designed for earth yarns. And I will put that picture here of the sample we have. She made this and did a fabulous job. So she wanted to make this cute little scarf, and she was questioning the short rows in this scarf. And I said, you know, I have already bought this pattern and I want to make it too. She was going on a little weekend trip and was questioning the short rows. And I said, you know, I'm going to cast this on so then I can affirmatively tell you what is going on with this pattern. So I have cast one on. And I am in love. This is my current in love with project. This is in a little bag I had got at the Knitting McPurley Retreat by Delightful Works. Susan, cute little bag, just open at the top. Love it. And there is a snap in the middle of this bag. So you can like close it up kind of. I just thought this was perfect. This is a 1 skein pattern again. And I went stash diving. This yarn, show you the yarn because caked up, it is amazing. Look at that. Oh my gosh. It is so pretty. This is Artistic Yarns by Abby. And the colorway, oh, help if I would hold it the right way. The colorway is Watercolor Stripe. And I'm pretty sure I got this last year at the Arkansas Yarn Co. retreat. And my friend Miss Cindy was taking it to the Free to a Good Home table. And as she was on her way down there, I saw her carrying it. I'm like, oh, that's gorgeous. What is that? She's like, oh, I was going to take it to the table. Do you want it? She's like, it's not my colors. I'm like, yes, I want it. So I snagged this stunning yarn. And look at this. I got to show it. Hold up. Because this pattern with all the short row things, it just curls around. Look how fun this is. So it's so much funner if you have a color changing yarn, self-striping, color changing, whatever, just because it's going to add this feature. It almost looks like you've chosen to make each little short row triangle in a different color. So let me straighten it out and then kind of show you. So you start down here. I love a pattern that you just cast on a few stitches and you are ready to start knitting. So you only have 20 stitches on your needle at a time. This is awesome. It's great for social knitting. It's so easy. It's so fun. You can see it has the I cord on both sides. I love this. This is my fun project right now. And I have a little cutie stitch marker on it that Tristan from Dragon Hoard Yarns had gifted me last time she was here for the yarn crawl. I cannot say enough good things about this. Definitely check out this pattern, especially if you have like a self-striping color changing skein that you don't know what to do with. You have one skein. I highly suggest this. So you'll see by the pattern that the sample I showed, you do these short rows for a time, and then the part that actually is supposed to sit around your neck will be knit flat. So that will knit nice and flat, and you can really make this as long as you want. You could literally use the whole skein. They have how many sections of short rows to do in the pattern, but I think this skein I have, yeah, this is a bigger skein. This is 460 yards. So I could make this longer. I can't. I love having it in this bag because I get to see this when I look down. And how fun is that? It's so, so good. So bad decisions? Nah, not really. I'm okay with all my whips. And like I said, now that I can see them on my shelf, a lot of these whips that have been in hibernation have been on the floor. So it's nice to kind of like, okay, I can look back here and I can just roll my chair back now and be like, okay, maybe I should pull one of these out. All right, I do technically have one more cast on that I just cast on this morning, but it's not really going to be a project per se. I am teaching a class this Saturday at Arkansas Yarn Co. So if you watch this Friday and you're fairly local, you could technically sign up. There is no homework involved. I am teaching a beginner lace class, and I can show I'm using a pattern by my friend Christine. This is the pattern, the textured shale. And again, it's a decorative scarf, and this is a free pattern. And there's two versions on it, but this version here, the version she knits up, there is no purling at all. So no purling, beginner lace. Just saying. It is this Saturday, March 29th at Arkansas Yarn Co. I am teaching that. And she does give an example of the original old shale pattern, which does have one row of purling for every 4 rows. So I decided to cast on that just to show kind of what it looks like comparatively. Basically, each 4-row repeat afterward, you have this. You can see the bumps. I just thought I would show the students at the class so they can decide which one of these they want to do. But really easy. I love lace. I love Christine, who is Treasure Goddess, by the way. Go check out her website. She is also a hand-dyed yarn person and has amazing colors and bases. So that's my last cast on. I did that today. So technically this won't be a project. I just took something out of my scrap bucket. These used to be a sock. I'm pretty sure this is Hey Sister Yarn Co., who hasn't dyed for years. Yeah. But I will have this project cast on next time with a different yarn because I will be casting on with everybody this Saturday. So this will be replaced by what will be my actual scarf. And I think I will do the no purl version, which is just garter. So yeah, lots of cast-ons this week. But I don't think cast-ons are a bad decision, do you? All right, so let's get into the whips. This week I have 3. The first one I haven't worked on at all this week, so it's probably the first week after I podcast last time that I've touched this. This is in my Rainbow Bright bag by Knit for Brains. And this is my Flutter Buttshirt by JessieMaedDesigns. This is one that Lori, Arkansas Yarn Co., and Devin, Knitting McPurley are hosting a knit along. And you can see where my marker is, it kind of blends in here. I haven't added very much. I'm on the front panel. And the reason I haven't added very much is, this is kind of the story of my making life, by the way. Somebody had messaged me in my Ravelry for the make along and said, you know, I did, I think it was Cindy, and Cindy, I am sorry if I didn't reply to you. I hope you're watching this. She had messaged and said, this pattern calls for a US 8. She didn't like the fabric it was making for US 8. She went down to a US 6 and still didn't like the fabric it was making. And she asked me what needle size I was using. Now, when I cast this on, I grabbed what I thought was the US 8. I was just going to use the suggested needle size. But when she asked that question, and this is why I didn't answer you, Cindy, because I went to the project and I thought, I'll double check, because y'all know on ChowGoose, it is hard to see that little bitty writing on your shiny needle to see. And guess what needle size I'm using? It is not US 8. It is a US 6. So I really like the fabric it's making. Here is a close-up. I like it. I am planning to use this as over summer dresses. Probably will not use it on its own, so it will be over something anyway. But now that I used 2 sizes smaller than I was planning, I need to make sure that this is gonna fit me still. So I haven't done that. And it has sat. I'm gonna move this stitch marker up, and either you will see it next time and I verify that it will work, because I do not want to rip out. Like I said, I am enjoying the stitch definition it is giving me. I just need to make sure that it will work. I think I will be okay because of the nature of this starting from bottom up, and it starts on the skinniest part of your waist. So it's not over your big bump of the waist. That's where the ruffles will be. So I'm hoping that that means I will be okay, but I'm not sure. So this hasn't gotten as much love from me. All right. Next whip. Let's start one where I got a little bit more. And these next 2 whips, even though I have been working on them, they look exactly the same. It's just the nature of these 2 projects, so it won't take much time because you've seen it a bunch. This is in a De La Q O Snap bag. Not this color, but we are now carrying O Snap bags at Arkansas Yarn Co., and we have a bunch of them. We have one of this that in a blue color, which I really love. I bought this at Argyle Yarn Shop on vacation last year, and this is my unicorn cloud wrap. Again, you've seen it a bunch of times, but we'll just go over it very quickly. This was in a set that came together. This is by Moondrake. It's called their Unicorn Clouds. That's the name of the wrap, and this is in the Juicy Fruit colorway. This is a large wrap. I've gotten 2 of those kits, so I still have another ball of each of those. However, the pattern is written, and the pattern is by Mermaid's Purl, which is the yarn shop that I got this in. I bought the yarn for it and then got the pattern for free. I could, after I am like at the end of this, if I wanted to, I could be done with it. But I was thinking kind of a large wrap for in the summer, you know, in the South here, especially when it is so hot out, but you go into a building and they have the air cranked. It is cold. I thought this would be light and airy enough. That looks so good. So yeah, I could stop at these 2 if I wanted to have just like a regular kind of shawl length. But I do have another ball of each, but I could, you know, use those for something else if I wanted to. We'll see what happens. But you can see my progress I've made on this. See my stitch marker, made a few inches. So I've picked up that lately, just because that colorway just brings me so much joy. And again, that is a 4-row repeat, very easy. You're using 2-row and you're only using those singly. So you're using 2 rows with the slub yarn and then 2 rows with the mohair, back and forth and carrying them as you go, so you don't have a bunch of ends. The other project I got back out, especially after I halted on this garment, I got back out this one. And this is in my woolly bean bag. And this is my shoulder shell. Here is what's left of this skein. This is Candy Apple by Legacy Fiber Arts and their DK. And again, I'm just knitting flat, basically knitting purling back and forth. But you can see where my progress keeper is. I've made quite a bit of progress. So I'm very happy about that. I measured last night. I think I have 4 inches of length. I'm supposed to knit from the armhole to 10.75 for my size that I'm making. And then I just have a little armhole work and we'll be done. So I'm very excited that I'm making progress with this. Sorry, my desk is metal. So if you hear, like, even if I have things on my top, like my cat likes to sit on here because this desk is nice and big. And when he's moving on it, it shakes and shimmies. So FYI, that's what you're hearing. And that is all I've made. I will mention, without getting into a separate spinning section, I have still been spinning, but I'm not going to show that because, again, it looks exactly the same. I'm still spinning the Sweet Mountain Crafts that I had gotten from the McPurley retreat. My goal was to finish that braid by the end of the month, which I still have this week and through next Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember if the first is on Tuesday or Wednesday, but we'll see. I like to spin a lot on the weekends. So I might get into that, but I'm not going to show that today. I will show it when it is done and I have a bobbin full. That is all of my making, you guys. But I feel pretty good about it. I need to figure this out. But I have been having lots of joyful makes, which is my main goal for the year. So I do have a few acquisitions, so let's get into that. All right, the only acquisitions I have are my 2 subscriptions I have. So first, shortly after I podcasted last time, I got my Gritty Knits All Year Advent. I've gotten them since the beginning, and we are very dark. Now, let's see, let me look, which one is which? Okay, so this, and they have the numbers on them. So if you start at any time, she has what number they are. So this is 39 and 40. Now this one, I don't know if it'll come across, but this is really like a dark blue into black. But it has a lot of blue in there. This one is straight up black and gray. I have been using this yarn all year for my Anna Zadora, and I do 2 repeats, 4 rows of each color. So this will sit at least for another month till I've received April and possibly May, and then I will knit them all up on the Anna Zadora. And then yesterday, I finally received what will be my April Knitting McPurley League of Extraordinary Sock Knitters. I'm taking the little stitch marker out. This is a club where she is using the sock project book and picking a pattern and then dyeing up specific yarn that would go with that pattern. So I've gotten everything from a cluster of minis. Last month I received 2, like, I don't know if they were 50-gram skeins, but 2 little skeins of fingering and 2 little skeins of mohair, because you alternated on those. And so this is this month. It does have a sticker. This is to use the Surf Wax socks in the sock project book, which is nice. She puts that on there. This is the April Club. It is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, a total of 110 grams. So this must be 100 and the mini must be 10. And then every month she has a stitch marker and she matches the pattern of the sock that we're doing. So you see that? Looks like we're doing a little color work, knitting stitches throughout with the mini. So I love that she matches that with what the sock is. So I'm going to just put this right on this yarn. I have not started any of my Knitting McPurly ones, and who knows if I'll make the actual pattern for them or not. Maybe, maybe not, but I'm enjoying this club. So that is all. I did not buy any additional things. No, I didn't. And that's all I have for this week. I do have a little bit of life. I am working on getting a Patreon up and running. I technically have secured my Patreon, but with Patreon, you can do it 2 different ways. You can, one, do a membership with additional videos, or you can do courses, and that's more what I'm looking into because I have an idea for courses. Again, I'm keeping it kind of close to the chest now because I want to make sure I have courses put together before I start promoting it. But I'm really, really excited about it, and I hope you guys will be too. So I will keep you attuned to the details about that as they come up, but that is what I'm working on behind the scenes. So yeah. All right, well, that is it for today. I thank you so much for being here. If you lasted all the way to the end of this podcast, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for commenting, for liking, for subscribing, for sharing, and all the things. And I hope that you create joy in your making, and I will see you in 2 weeks.